even have a name to say, so.
We don't have a name, but...
Welcome!
Okay, we did not plan that. That just shows how in sync we are. So funny.
Our podcast is a little thing that we just kind of thought about.
Well, Nikki was like, hey, what do you think? Should we do a podcast? I'm like, sure, why not?
We do like little different adventures and stuff like that. You guys that do know us know that you follow along, and we do little crazy things sometimes, and this is just the next step.
The next level of crazy.
So basically today we just kind of wanted to introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit about our background of how we came to be, and then we will get into episodes eventually.
Eventually, yes.
Yeah.
All the hot topics.
You want to tell them how we met?
You can go ahead.
Okay. So, I had no eyebrows. They were like white, and for a long time I wanted to get them done, and it just didn't work out. I was supposed to do like a modeling situation for a friend in Midland, but COVID happened. So literally on my Facebook news feed, it pops up this ad to get brows done over Christmas. It was like a Christmas special.
Like a Christmas, yeah.
So I like asked her a whole bunch of questions, whatever. She's probably like, who's this like an annoying ass person? But she was cool, you know, made the appointment, show up, and we just like hit it off.
It was like the weirdest, it was honestly the weirdest thing. It was like I had known you forever.
Yes.
And it was our first time actually meeting, but I don't know, from the moment I met you, like it was like this instant connection, like I'd known you forever, and we just had like so many similar things going on in our lives that it was just like, I always say, it was like two individuals walking parallel paths.
Right.
Like I tell people this all the time when I'm like, oh, my best friend Nikki, this is how we met. You know, like we both had 3 kids. We were both in a relationship for like 20 years. We were both unhappy in our relationships and like, you know, kind of at the end stages of our marriages. And we'd both gone through like a massive weight loss, our fitness journeys, and just everything was lined up. And then the vibe, like the vibes were just, we're vibing. We're vibing. So it was almost just, like, it was like destiny that we met, and it was an instant thing, and we just became best friends right away. Yeah, so that's where it started. Mm-hmm. And look at us now. So wait, how long has it actually been?
A couple of years.
More than a couple. Okay, so did I meet you before my transformation show or after?
Before.
So before. So it would have been the winter then of 2021. So this is just over 4 years now.
Time flies when you're having fun.
So much fun. But it's actually crazy that it's been 4 years.
Yeah. Like, so quick.
So quick. Yeah. But we've been through a lot of shit in those 4 years.
But we always get through it.
We always get through it.
We have each other's support. It's like, we saw a meme the other day. It was funny because it was almost like, I saw that you liked it on the Instagram because everybody tells on you on Instagram now.
Yeah.
It was like, what was it, kind of like, when one...
If one of you isn't going through some shit, are
like,
you even best friends?
Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's true. It's usually like, oh, her this week, me next week.
But you sent it to me, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I sent this to you the other
I know.
night. I did.
And I was like, yeah, I had my little meltdown.
Yeah. No, we're always cycling through episodes.
Yeah.
And just there for each other all the time, so.
Yeah, so we always have a lot to talk about too.
We do. So we go for our Starbucks every week.
Yeah.
Just to catch up and vent and whatever, laugh. And so we decided, so I think what actually kind of spurred this was now Starbucks makes you drink out of their mugs when you're there. And I was telling Nikki this the other day. She's like, really? That's so weird. She's like, hey, what do you think about doing a podcast? And we'll just go to your house and chill and drink our coffee. Sounds good to me. So this is what we're doing. We're getting it in our takeout cup and we're coming here and we're gonna just talk.
Yeah, so this is kind of just the introduction, like we said. We'll have topics and we will speak on those topics. And our opinions might differ. But that's the thing with our relationship too, is like we always can have differences of opinion. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't, but we always respect each other and find common ground. So like we might have difference of opinion, but I think people appreciate that too in life, because then you can kind of see where we're both coming from.
Yeah.
In different situations.
And I think that's part of the awesome dynamic that we have, is that like we've never had like an argument because we respect each other and that we're individuals and that we do have different opinions. And I think the thing is, like, we don't ever hold back.
No, neither
like,
of us.
I feel like when we first started talking and shit and like things that we would talk about, we would message like TMI and then we would continue, and I'm like, there's not such a thing as TMI with us.
No.
Like, we have shared it all. And I think that's the beauty of our friendship, is that we feel comfortable enough. Like, I would never ever feel like I had to lie to you about something, or like, you know, I know that I can tell you literally anything without judgment.
Yes.
And the same goes for you.
Yes.
And like, I think that's why we can talk so freely and openly and not hold back.
I agree. And like sometimes we might, and when you love someone, like you want to have their best interest. So sometimes you'll speak on it, or vice versa. But it's not a judgment. It's just we want to make sure each other are also okay. Because sometimes, as we know, as women especially, we don't always in life see what maybe is better for us in a career, a job, like a kid situation, anything, relationships. Because we're so in it.
Yeah.
So sometimes you just kind of need to hear that friend advice, just take it in. But at the end of the day, I know you're going to support me no matter what I do. Same.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Like, how many times have you said, you know, I feel this way, but I'm going to support you regardless of what you choose.
Right.
And like, through my separation and through those years of fucking shit, you're like, you know, I'm here for you. Whatever you decide to do, I will support you. But know that I feel this way about this situation. And yeah, I've never felt like you were judging me on anything. It was always just support, and because you care, because you love me, because you want the best for me. And it's the same for me to you. Like, single tear. But no, but we also have some spicy conversations.
Oh yeah, spicy.
I feel like most of our conversations go that way.
I'm like, come on, 9 o'clock. I want to hear this shit, man.
Oh my god. Yeah, no, like we don't hold back, and honestly, at this point, we're at the point in our lives where it's like, if we can't be our true authentic selves, what's the fucking point?
Exactly.
Like, if I have to hide parts of myself to be friends with someone, I don't fucking want it. I don't want it.
And I'm like 7 years? I'm 7 years older than Jenna. So she hasn't even hit the 40, right? You haven't hit 40
I
yet.
turned 40 this year.
But she's just hitting 40. Like, but I'm 46. So when you like get into that, you really, as you continue to, you'll see, you really just don't give a fuck anymore. Like, you really, really do find yourself as a woman in her 40s and stuff like that. And you're unapologetic for who you are. And you really don't give a fuck if people like it or not, because you're authentically you. And it feels nice to finally in life, because as we all know, growing up, especially, I'm sure men have it too, but with women, it's like, you always like, am I good enough? Do I look right? Are people gonna like me? You don't really start to care when you get older. You're like, I know I'm the shit, and I don't care if anybody else knows I'm the shit or not, because I do.
Yeah. No, exactly. And I think like for me, I was always a people pleaser, right?
Me too.
Like middle child. I was just like the only girl growing up in my family. You know, always trying to help out and take care of things, and it was like mothering. I was like in that mothering stage as I was growing up,
Right.
and yeah, now I've really, after being in an 18-year marriage, you know, 3 kids later, always taking care of everybody else. Finally, when I started giving back to myself, putting myself first, and then I'm like, you know what? Fuck this shit. Why am I always trying to please everybody else? Like, no. So I've broken the people-pleasing habit.
It's like learning boundaries. I'm the exact same as you.
Yes.
I always am, and my mom is the same way. So we all learn it, and it doesn't mean it's a bad trait, but it is when it's overstepped, and you have to create boundaries. And it's really nice once you do start having that time for yourself that you never really allowed yourself to have. It's nice, and you don't want to give it up.
No,
So
never, never. It's absolutely necessary.
Yes.
It's absolutely necessary. And so, like now, broke the people-pleasing habit. We are here being ourselves, and anybody who, like, you know, gravitates towards that, great. If you don't like it, bye. Like, I just don't have time for it, and like my energy, my time is precious, and I want to share it with those who appreciate it. You, honestly, one of the biggest people in my lives now. You share the same energy. You give good energy. You know, I want to give good energy to you because you give it back, and we've been talking about this has been our thing probably for the last year and a half. Reciprocated energy.
Yes.
This is what we are all about now, because
it's not unbalanced. You don't feel anyone's taking advantage of the other. It's like we both have big hearts. We both do go out of our way to do for the people that are whatever, but we make sure it's reciprocated.
Yeah.
And it's nice to have that kind of relationship because then you never feel taken for granted.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, that's just a little introduction. And I think as we go on, like we need to have men.
We're gonna
You know,
have
like
some
men need to
people,
give us some like spice and advice and you know, little.
Well, like, what do you want to hear from
Yeah.
us? Like, we want to know what the ladies want to hear. We want to know what the men want to hear, because you know what? We're open books, and we'll tell it like it is, how we see it, and we won't hold back. So if you want to know some shit, this is the place to ask it.
This is the place to ask it.
Yeah, I'm excited though. I think it's gonna be really fun. And like, we have a good time, so get ready to laugh and
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Peace out. 8 to 10.